Well, welcome. This is the Pursuit of a College Education podcast. I am Alexis. This podcast is to document and further express what college life is for me and also how it affects other parts of my life. Through the stories, successes, and shortfalls that I will share, I hope that any other students, whether past, present, or future, can take comfort that a college career is a marathon and not a sprint. So to begin with my first podcast, I would like to share a few things about myself and where I currently am in my college career. So first off, I just earned my baker's certificate. I'm a certified baker now. I had been going to college previously. I've been taking classes. Aside from getting prerequisites to be accepted into this baking program, I was knocking out, I didn't know what I was to graduate with. So I was taking, the gen ed classes, knocking out some of the most basic ones. And now this summer I did take classes, but then in the spring 2021, I will be graduating with my associates in general sciences. My tentative schedule for my bachelor's is to get a degree in food science. The summer I took, let's back up. There's a pandemic. I lost my job and everything is online now. So I'm home and now I had to convert this raggedy old table in my room to be a desk to work. So in the summer, I didn't want to just sit around because I knew my job wasn't coming back. Almost all the positions where I was working, they got rid of them all. So I was like, well, I can just get ahead in school at a community college right now, which means it's a lot easier to afford right now than when I will be transferring to university. But for the summer, I took 3 classes, 3 credit hour classes, so I was very busy. And then for the fall, I have 3 classes, and it's a total of 13 credit hours, so it's not that bad. And then this spring, I am either taking 2 or 3, dependent if I would like to take a third course, even though I only need, at that point, 2 more to finish my associates. So I wanted to recap how my summer went, since I just finished my finals last week, and actually my last one was on Sunday, and I am recording this on the 4th. So it was only a few days ago, and grades had to be turned in yesterday, so it was literally the last possible day. But to start off, I wanted to talk about my Intro to Literature class. So this one was all online, and all of the assignments were essays. I love writing essays. This YouTuber, her channel name is Swell Entertainment, if you want to check her out. She's actually also a college student who actually didn't lose her job during the pandemic. She's kind of bitter about it. But she said this great thing that she is, I don't know what kind of arts degree it is. It may be English, but she said on a live stream recently, she's like, I like being an art student because I can just find meaning in anything. Even if I don't really find any meaning, initially I can find it. And that's how I feel when I'm writing essays about, I had to write essays about short stories, and I had to read a lot of poems, and poems are something I don't exactly understand all of them, but you have to keep hacking away at it until you find some sort of meaning. And we had guided questions as to what we were supposed to talk about in our essays, but those were all of our assignments. And now for the grade statistics, I didn't keep grade stats on everything, but I have 4 numbers here. I have the grade that I was sitting at right before my final. I have using the finals calculator to see what percentage I need on my final exam to get either an A or a B. And then I have my final exam score and then my final grade of the class. So for English, my final was worth 30%. I didn't know that until it came finals week. So I did not put how much I needed for my, I do not have the number for the finals calculator, excuse me. But I ended up getting a 92, which is very great. And then my final grade was a 90.55%. So I just barely got an A. And that is a moment where, I put in the work throughout the semester. I got A's and B's on all of the essays, but, in the end I was really teetering on a B between an A and a B. So I was very glad that I just barely made it to an A. Obviously, I still would have been happy with a B. I think most people would agree with that. But knowing that I got just enough for an A, that's a moment where I'm like, wow, the stars aligned. Like I said, I did put hard work into this semester, and I'm just glad that I just barely got an A. It's like the icing on the cake. So for how I completed and when I completed these assignments, they were essays, so I had to do a lot of the reading first. And there's a good topic for me to talk about is my time management. So I try to get all my work done between Monday and Wednesday. If I have anything extra, I will go to Thursday. But for the most part, I want almost half my week to have no schoolwork, so I can focus on everything else. And once I get it done, then it's done. I don't have to think about it. So Monday, I would do all my reading, and obviously sometimes I wouldn't get to it because another course that I'm about to speak about is the exact same, where it's a lot of reading. And some weeks had more things to read than others, so they were not very even. So I read everything on Monday. I would usually turn things in by Wednesday, and like I said, those were all my assignments. So for my next class, I took cultural anthropology. Again, it counts towards my associates. And again, it was a lot of reading. These essays were a little more informal. It would be like a couple paragraphs answering a few guided questions. And we could pick and choose if she gave us enough options, which was nice. But we still had to answer at least one from all the readings. And we would get like 1 to 4 readings a week. And with cultural anthropology, all of these, they're all from like scholarly articles. So suffice to say, they're long, and usually we need to have read everything. So actually what I would use was I just typed into Google a text-to-speech application. And of course, all of them have subscriptions. You got to make money. But they would give you 20 minutes for free. So whenever I got burnt out from reading, and I cannot read in my head for that long, I don't know what that means, or if I just get tired of it, but I usually have to read aloud. And that's also tiring. You don't want to read aloud for hours. So then I would use this speech to text, and I would fill out whatever I could, and then the next day, so it would be Tuesday, I would do another 20 minutes, and usually I would get done by Tuesday, and again submit on Wednesday. So for this course, since it was a lot more informal, it's also an introductory course. I don't like saying easy A, but it was an easy A. It was a lot more interpretive, and you could talk a lot about your own experiences. So I was sitting at already a 90 in the class. It was over a 90. So when I put that number into the finals calculator, I only needed a 45, and I'm like, wow, okay. And so this is weird. This is really like weird to admit, but I think a lot of people feel this way when they have such a high A in the course already, that I did what I did on my final exam. I still got an 83%. So I got an 83%. Could I have gotten it higher? Who knows? I still applied myself in the final. If I didn't apply myself, I probably would have gotten a low score. So my final grade came out at a 94. So I'm like, good, I got an A. Let's boost that GPA, which is another reason why I took cultural anthropology. An introductory course, not to say that it's not easy, but like I said, it's an introduction, so you tie it a lot to your own experiences, and being that it's about culture and talking about cultures and people, I think everyone has a good understanding of something in that realm, because we're all part of many different cultures. So it was It was a really nice class to take. I learned a lot as well. And then we get to, oh goodness, I had to take a remedial chemistry class because I never took chemistry in high school. Long story. I'm not going to tell it here. So I had to take an accelerated 6-week course. And this is the course where that final was on Sunday, because my professor said they wanted to give us enough time because we also had our Unit 4 exam 2 days before. So this class, suffice to say, had lots of homework, lots of quizzes. We had 3 quizzes a week, and we had 4 exams within 6 weeks. And this one was on Zoom. The other 2 were completely online. Like, we didn't meet over Zoom is what I mean. So this one we had to meet a few times a week, which really did help. And on top of that, I did have a tutor because I know how much I struggle with hard sciences. So I got a weekly tutor. My school is very nice and accommodating. It's no additional charge, but I also had to sign up in time because it's first come, first serve. And the coursework, like any hard science class, you know, when you talk about the arts, like I was just talking about, how it's more interpretive, even though cultural anthropology, it's a science, but there's a level of interpretation, a level of subjectivity, or, you know, depending on whose experience, who's looking at it. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt too. I'm not a cultural anthropologist. I took 1 course. But what I think of is English a lot, how you can, like I said, you can find meaning in so many different ways, and different people have different reactions to certain pieces of work. But with science and subsequently math, it's not like that. There's usually one answer, only one answer. And even if you're close, or maybe you just made one little mistake in all of your work, you know how they always say to show your work, and they're like, oh, we'll give you partial credit. Sure. I'll believe it when I see it one day. You know, you see how you go about, you know, solving for X, or, you know, finding the answer. And you usually don't get any points. And that's why I struggle with hard sciences. So there was a lot of meeting with my professor, asking a lot of questions. You know, if anything, if it was not 100%, then I kept asking, you know, can you demonstrate it again? Can you say it in different words? And like I said, I had a professor and a weekly tutor. My tutor was very accommodating. She met with me as much as I needed, especially during that last week. And so the numbers, everybody buckle up for this. I was sitting at a whopping 82%. Shocking. Honestly, shocked me. Classes are also a numbers game, which is why I am going over these numbers. For someone who does not like numbers and dwelling on these, I think it's very important to show that, you know, the opposite end, like, I'm not the best. It doesn't come as easy to me for science and math, but doing the work, you know, getting my hands dirty, taking also twice as long to do the same amount of work as I would in an English course, it is what it is. So that's why I only take 1 science class at a time. Anyways, I was sitting at 82. I did not calculate how much I needed for a B. I did not write that down. And an A was not possible. I remember calculating an A, and it was like, you need over 120%, so keep dreaming. But my final exam, and thank goodness it was all multiple choice. Otherwise, you know, they take points off. Any science teacher, any math teacher, they take points off for literally anything. You know, if you miss one little thing, I get it. I understand why they do it. But, you know, a 4-point question, even if I get the numerical value right, I don't label correctly, or I don't write, you know, XYZ, then maybe I can lose up to 2 points. That's half of the points already gone, even though I got the right answer, per se. So I got an 87% on my final exam. What a sigh of relief. that I got. I mean, I was studying hard finals week. I got my other two finals done really quick. And then I was like, I got to buckle up. And also I had the Unit 4 exam 2 days beforehand. So I also had to study for that while studying everything else from the course. And again, not having any... The last time I talked about chemistry, the last time I had a chemistry class was in 7th grade, which was a long time ago, to say the least. Long enough to where, first, I didn't learn anything then, and I don't remember it now. So my final grade, my professor did have more grades for like some smaller, like other project things that we had to complete. So that's why there's a little asterisk here when I wrote that I got an 88 in the class, because she kept entering in some more grades she hadn't put in yet. And then lastly, she said that our final exam would replace our grade for our lowest test. And why I said I was shocked that I was sitting at an 82 beforehand is my first unit exam. I got a 62%. I was so close to literally getting an F. So now that number, that 62% had changed to an 87, that also brought up my grade, because that was my first unit exam. So my grade was either a D or a C at that time, and it looked like that for a while. That's why I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. And I'm also very glad and proud of myself for doing the work, but now I have to keep doing the work for years. So now that I have the foundation set, both for chemistry and how to study for chemistry and other sciences, now I just have to keep it up for like a few more years. You should see the face I'm making. So, now on to the fall. So what I'll be taking in the fall, you guessed it, I'm taking Chem 1. I'm also going to need Chem 2. Just a sneak peek. I'm going to have to take that in the spring. So for Chem 1, this one is going to be, the lecture is going to be online, so I don't meet with them. But there will be a lab, obviously, that we have to tune into. And I had to buy a lab test kit. It was $200. Yay. Additionally, for all of my classes since maybe a year or two ago, I've been using, I don't know if it's Rate My Professor or RateMyProfessors.com. But if there's anyone out there, even if, you're someone who's just going to a community college to take an art class, please use this website. They do a very good job at how they vet all of these, like, review submissions. For every class I've taken, I've always rated a professor, all the professors I've had, because it's important information. They say you can't name call, you can't use profanity. I think you can type in all caps, but I don't suggest it. But you also give them a rating. You say what class you took, you say if you recommend it, and then they have tags like if they're caring or if they're a tough grader. If anyone has not checked out this site, if I can link it somewhere in descriptions of wherever you're listening to this, I will, because it's a very good tool to have. And you can also, if you're searching for a class, you can search like who are the best rated professors in the college that you're going to go to. So I highly recommend this because I chose one of the best chemistry teachers one of the highest rated, I should say, chemistry teachers at my school. So I feel very confident, and my tutor also told me how this professor teaches their class, what they expect. So additionally, I rented my textbook. I rent all of them. Like I said, the test kit. And now my prediction. Oh, this is my favorite part. I feel like the worst I'm going to get is a C. And also, I really can't afford to get anything lower than a C. Because all I want to do is pass the class. I obviously want to learn. I don't think I need to say that every time, but I obviously want to learn what's in the class, but obviously grades don't always reflect that. So just passing the class, anything higher, I would love that. Just like how I feel now about my remedial chemistry class. Getting a B, it's like, wow, it's that much better. Now my GPA is a little bit higher than I thought it'd be, which is nice. So my next class is pre-calculus. Oh, yay. So, fun fact, my first semester of college, I took college algebra, dropped it. We can get into that in another podcast. And then since then, I have not taken a math class. So, I need pre-calculus, and then I need most likely Calc 1. Do I need Calc 1? I will need statistics, and then there's a few others that those are prerequisites for. But again, I used ratemyprofessors.com. This is online with a Zoom class that meets every weekday. That was the only choice, especially with everything or nothing being face-to-face now. At least my college is all online. Since pre-calculus is a 5-credit-hour course, you know, sometimes they stack them so you get like 2.5 hours on a Tuesday and 2.5 hours on a Thursday. I really like those classes, even if they are online meetings, but there were none available. So I had to pick one that met every weekday. Again, I signed up for a tutor because we already went over that. Math and science take me a long time to understand. I wrote here in my notes, me and math go way back, and we have an on and off relationship, which again is for another podcast. Again, I rented my textbook, my graphing calculator. I couldn't rent it. My school offers rental calculators. I didn't want to do that, especially since if I know I'll need it for when I go to university. I just got one, and also the whole renting thing. And I know I'm renting my textbooks, but like the graphing calculator, I don't know. I didn't really look into how we have to do that because we usually would have to go to the school. And now predictions. I feel like I will need to not only meet with a weekly tutor, not only go to class every day, but I will most likely have to tune into other math study sessions that my school offers, where I can, now with it being online, I would have to tune in through a certain Zoom link, and then additionally ask someone who's available, hey, I don't understand this math concept, can you explain it to me? I feel like that's what's going to happen. But again, I would really like at least a C. Again, I have to pass. I feel confident that maybe I can get a B. Not going to get an A. I can tell you that right now. There's going to be no A in math classes. Maybe a science class down the road, but there's just no way. I can't remember the last time I had an A in math. It was it was actually high school, but that's a different story. But before high school, it was like maybe 4th grade. So my third class doesn't have to do with my degree. It's for a honors program that I'm in, and additionally, the tentative bachelor's degree that I would like to earn. I do need this class. It has to do with working with people and management. It's not a management course. It has a weird name, but I don't think it's really worth mentioning. It doesn't count towards my associates at least. And it also helps me in my honors program. And now since we can't meet face to face, this is only the few ways I can participate in my honors program. So, to recap, I have, including fall, 2 semesters left to earn my associates. And also another fun fact, because America has started to close down in March, and I graduated from my culinary program in the spring, I never got my graduation, and most likely my school will still be all online or all remote, however you'd like to say it, in the spring. So once again, I will not get a graduation. And I never went to my high school graduation. So now I just have to wait till I earn my bachelor's, which is going to be a long time. Oh, goodness. And my food science bachelor's is still a tentative decision. I encourage anyone and everyone, if you're just going to take a few classes or if you are going to get a degree or a certificate, don't feel bad when you change your mind or change your path. In high school, like I said, I really like English. I wanted to get a creative writing degree, and then I look and see that there was nothing that you could really do with a creative writing degree that interested me. So that's when I realized it was more of a hobby. But even starting college, that's what my goal was. And it took me over a year to figure out that that's not what I wanted to do. So as I took a few other classes elsewhere, that's where I learned that, well, first I wanted to get culinary, but then I really liked talking about nutrition and food science and, not just the cooking aspect. And that's why I really stumbled on food science. But it could change. I don't know how, because right now I've decided it's food science. So I don't want to ramble on any longer. I just wanted to give a recap on where I am with my college career, and I hope others would join along in listening to all of the good and bad things that I go through, whether it's with college or not. Just take comfort that everything's not perfect over here. Like, even though I may post on Instagram, like, oh my God, I'm making this cute cake, even though it's finals week and I'm stressing out and I can't sleep. Oh, it looks so cute. Like, just know that everything's not always rosy and dandy. It's hard. It's hard for everyone, whether you're in college or not. So maybe if you're a listener and you're not in college, that's all right. Our lives, our paths go all different ways, or maybe you had previously completed college and you can laugh at me when I'm complaining about very, very remedial things in college life. Anyways, well, if you have any comments, questions, criticism, or anything you'd like to share with me, or something that you'd like me to share in a future podcast, you can send an email to the podcast email at pursuitcollegeedu@gmail.com. It should be in the description. There are new episodes every other Wednesday. To leave, I hope everyone enjoyed what I was talking about. Maybe, maybe not. So I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you again for listening to The Pursuit of a College Education.